Hi, so in this video, I'm going to introduce you to the Agentic tools Codespace. And so this repo has some of the Agentic tools installed into it. In particular, it has Claude Code and Open Code and Copilot and Crush and Codex installed. A lot of C's there, okay, but except for one. But these are different Agentic tools. Claude Code, of course, is the most famous. But Open Code is an open source alternative that's really quite good and is laid out really well. Copilot is part of GitHub's Copilot CLI. It's a pretty robust tool, it has a lot of features. Its output is not quite as nice and clean as Claude Code or Open Code, but it works really well. It's very reliable and it's growing quickly. Crush is a really gorgeous looking agentic tool, and it's a little bit early on in its development, but it's got a lot of possibilities. And then Codex is the CLI that is from OpenAI, and so that's the one that's behind driving all the GPT models. So the kinds of subscriptions you need in order to run these kind of look like this. For Claude Code, you need a Claude Pro or Max subscription. For Codex, which is the one down here, this is for ChatGPT models, you need an OpenAI subscription. So, and in between those are Open Code, which can take a GitHub Copilot subscription or an OpenAI Pro subscription. It can also take Open Router API keys as well too. So three of these, Open Code and Copilot and Crush, will take the GitHub Copilot subscription. So if you don't have a Claude Pro subscription, you definitely should sign up for GitHub Education, because if you sign up for GitHub Education, you'll get these 300 Copilot requests per month, and they include some great choices for models and the ability to kind of run these premium models without cost if you're a student. So I'm going to show you that today. We'll probably start with Claude Code, but then we'll also make some videos about Open Code as well too. But let's at least start with Claude Code today. So come over here and let's make a code space like this. And so this is set up to come up really quickly, which is nice. It's cached. We don't need this window over here. I'm going to put it down. We also can make this window full size as well. We're just going to use the terminal today. That's all we're going to do. So let's make it a little bit bigger like that. And then there's our terminal. You can say, if you see this message, you can just say don't show it again. And so let's go and actually change the themes a little bit. So let's go, let's see, what do we like? Do we like that one? I guess that's fine. Okay, so I like to show a darker theme. And now we're going to boot up Claude Code. So now I could just type Claude here, but it won't have the right permissions. I want it to come up with a version that doesn't ever ask me any questions. And so to do that, I run this version that's in another folder. And so the way to run this script, this other version of Claude, is to type dot and then / and then start typing out the word permissions, because that's where it's stored. And so you can tab that after you get a couple of the letters, and then start typing Claude, and you can tab that. And so this is the thing you have to run in order to run the Claude Code version of our agent. So boot that up, and it's going to take it a minute. So it's probably got to do some kind of installation or setting up underneath it. And then finally we're going to see this. And so this is everybody's favorite Claude Code. So this one, I'm just going to run it in with mostly with the defaults. It's going to ask me to log in. So now I can't use this one, I know, because it would work if we're not in a code space. Like if you were on your regular machine, it would work, but it doesn't work here. But the one that does work is this one behind it. So I'm just going to select it like this, say Control C, and then I'm going to go out here to a browser tab, and I'm going to paste that in. If I'm lucky, I get this over here. And so I make sure I'm in the right account, and I say authorize, and I get this code right here, and I come back to my tool, and I'm going to get rid of these files over here. I'm just going to close this Explorer window over here. I don't need it. And then I'm going to paste this in here, and it's going to make me allow that paste. So I did that, and I'm going to hit return, and that should do it. Okay. I don't think it's successful yet, though. Okay, so I'm going to say enter. I'm going to say yes, use the yes, I trust this folder. Now it's asking me, should it install this MCP server that it found? And this is the Dolt MCP server, which we're going to use today. So the idea of an MCP server is it's a server that the LLMs can use to call and get some data. So these are very popular now in most of the chatbot sites. You can go and hook up these things called connectors. And so connectors give the LLMs access to various data sources like your Gmail or your Google Drive or your Figma or your Canva. They go by a lot of, there's a lot of examples of these. And so we're going to use a very simple one that just allows the LLM to have access to DoltHub and some databases on Dolt. So I'm going to say yes. Doesn't matter how I okay that pretty much. Now, because it's going to run with these elevated permissions here, it's going to make me accept that. And I got to go down one to actually accept that. I'm going to say yes. Did I not accept it or something? Hello? Okay, so now we're in here. All right. So, and I'm going to hit return one more time. Okay, so now it's in this mode where it will bypass various permissions, and that's nice because we're in a code space after all, so there's not much we can mess up. I see this /buddy over here. I don't know what that is, but it looks like it will put up that thing over on the side. I think this started appearing on, yeah, I'll watch you work. Oh, okay, so this is something that I think you can have watch you work. I don't really know how it works. I think it's an April Fool's thing, which might stay around for a while, but okay, press any key. I don't know. I didn't. Okay, so it's over there. That's fine. All right, you can run that if you want. So, okay, so, and I think it is going to give little editorial comments over there, so it's very clever. I can't tell what that little drawing is. So, like, is it a snail or what the heck is it? I can't tell. But at any rate, okay, so can you describe this repo for me? And also what the Dolt MCP server does. Okay, so let's see if I can just describe some of the stuff we got here. Okay, so it's searching around all those files. Remember, the files that were in the repo are over here, but I'm kind of hiding those for right now. But it's probably going to look through there. It's okay. So here's what it is. It's a summary of the repo. It does this stuff. It has these things set up. You can do this various things. Here's the Dolt server that is, and the Dolt MCP server that's installed. So, okay, so can you give me the tables in the Dolt database? And the Dolt database that we're going to use is one that is just a books database that I have stored on there. And so it's under my account. It's called calvinw, and then the name of the database is books, and then the branch of it is main. And so I'll show it to you over here. Here it is on Dolt. It's the books database, and we're looking at the main branch right here. If you remember, Dolt databases have branches, and so this is the main data. It just has one table. So here, if we look over here, we see the table. So there's just one table. And here it is, and so you can kind of see what it is. It's a book database, so it's pretty simple, and we're just going to get the LLM to kind of work with this database with us. So let's go back over here. Okay, so the full name of that database that you have to give to it is the username, the name of the database, and then the branch that it's on. So, so can you give me the tables in that database? Let's see what it can do. Okay, so it's a book. There's only one table in it. So can you describe the yeah, the schema is basically what the fields of the columns are. So can you describe the schema for me? So, right, so here it is. So the fields are, these are the columns we saw a minute ago. If you go over here, the columns are the ID column. So this is called the primary key, and this is unique, and this identifies the different records. And then there's title, author, year, and genre. So back over here, yeah, there's ID, there's title, author, year, and genre. Okay, so can you show me a few rows, say the first 10. Oh, why are we not seeing it? Oh, Control O, maybe Control O. I think recently it started not showing stuff. Here are the first 10 rows. Well, I'm not seeing them. Control O. Okay, I'm not seeing them. I think it thinks it's showing it to me. I don't. Usually Claude is smarter than this. Okay, there it is. Right. Okay. So can you show me the last few rows? Okay, so let's see how many it has in it. So, okay, so it goes up to 100. So there's 100 books in the table. So, oh, looks like it stops at G. So there are no titles beyond G. Okay, so it must be like half of a book list or something like that. Right, so there's only, right, that's correct. Okay, so how about let's do something like, can you show me all books in year, it looks like there's like 2014 there, or yeah, let's do 2014, just something like that. Okay, so there's a few books. There's 7 from 2014. Okay, so which authors have the most books? All right, should be able to figure that out. So any of these, you can actually ask it for the SQL that it's running for this. So can you show me the SQL for this? Okay, so we're doing database stuff, and what it's doing is it's going through and running a little SQL query to kind of filter the data like this and sort of show it to you. So there's the query for it. And so what it does is it figures the query out from the question you ask, and then it sends that over to Dolt over here where this database lives, and it gets back the filtered version of whatever it asked for. You could also run the same kind of thing up here. So let me just show that. So kind of what's going on here is the thing is doing, here's the query right here that it's getting. Let me just see if I can copy that. I hope I can copy it, and then let's go over here. And you can run this little query up in this editor up here. And so if I paste it in, now there's some spaces there, but hopefully it'll still run. So if I run it, yeah, there it is. So here's the sorted version over here. But what Claude is doing is just kind of doing that in line and running it and getting it back and kind of showing it to us here. So can you give me the query that shows all the books for 2013? Okay, let's see, there's the query for that. And so I'm just going to take that. So you could grab it from here and take it over here and run it in this little editor here, just to see that it gives you the same thing. And so you run it, and there's all those. And so, but let's actually just have Claude run it here for us. So can you run query is what it's called. Yeah, so it's really great that it does this. So this is 21. Let's see what we got over here. Yeah, same list over here. Okay, so really that's, oh, let's check and make sure that the MCP is installed. So the way you see what MCPs are installed is you run a little command called MCP, like that. And so what it shows us is that our Dolt MCP is hooked up. There's also some MCPs hooked up from my online version of Claude. So Claude.ai refers to the web-based version, and apparently I have Gmail and Google Calendar and something else hooked up on my web-based version. But at least the local one that it's using here is this one up here called the Project MCPs. And for that one, you can click on this and get some information about it. It'll show you the tools that are installed. So you can read query, you can write query, you can list tables, you can describe a table, you can list a view. So each of these kind of do a different thing. And then there's one called describe views as well. So let's see what read query does. So it allows you to execute SQL read queries safely on the database. So that's nice. So escape to go back. Let's do write query. This allows you to do write operations. So if you want to add a row or delete a row or something like that. Then there's one called list tables, which shows all the tables in the database. So, okay. And then there's one called list views, or there's one called describe table. And this tells you the structure of the table. So it would tell you like which fields are in this table. This one would have like 4 fields: the ID, then the title, the author, and then the genre. So let's get back out of that. And then list views. Views are kind of like reports. If you have a report that you run all the time for this data and you want to kind of save that, it's essentially a script that saves a particular kind of result of a query. So views are kind of like reports is the way I think of them. And then describe view is the way to kind of see exactly how the view or that report is built. Okay, so those are the tools. And whenever an MCP is installed, it will tell you, which kind of tools are involved. And you can reconnect to that server. You can, if it has authentication, you might have to log in. This one doesn't have a login, so you can just use it. But okay, so that's the story with MCPs. And usually for most agentic tools, the command /MCP will still tell you which MCPs are installed. Okay.